It was strange that when I mentioned my plan to rest in room 14, Nurse Sarah gave me an odd look. During night shifts, we sometimes pushed a stretcher into a room to catch a brief hour of sleep. It was a common practice to recharge during our demanding 12-hour shifts. I was a nurse at a small hospital in the United States at that time. Feel free to give it a shot, she remarked. What's up with room 14? What did you hear? My curiosity was ignited. Room 14 was the only empty room on our floor, everyone else had found their sleeping nooks. Conference room, storage closet, everything you can imagine. We push a stretcher in there and get a bit of shut-eye. Charlene mentioned it. Yeah, everyone working the night shift knows it's haunted, Sharon chimed in. I assumed she was joking, as I wasn't a believer in ghosts. People like Sharon, who were rational thinkers, were even less likely to buy into such tales. I chuckled and asked, really? Do you believe in that kind of stuff? I knew rumors often had logical explanations. I had watched a documentary about it once, delving into how people conjured things in their minds, remembered and described them vividly, making them more captivating. It amplified the allure of figures like ghosts. Just like those who claimed to be abducted by aliens, at least that's what I thought. Do you buy into that kind of thing? They exchanged glances, subtly conveying some message. Being relatively new, I hadn't yet learned to listen to those who had more experience, a piece of wisdom all new nurses should heed. They know more than you, especially when you're a rookie. If you don't believe me, give it a shot. Just don't take it too seriously. There was a guy in the corner, Sam, who had worked there for a while. You really shouldn't sleep in there. Jason, it's not a good spot for rest. I had always trusted Sam, so his participation in this prank disappointed me a bit. Why would he get involved like this? Okay, I get it. Lay off, newbie. But honestly, it didn't seem like a big deal to me. I really wasn't afraid. Sam tried to convince me again, but I brushed him off, sensing he was stretching the joke too far. Sharon and Judy had given up on him, sitting quietly, waiting to see how it would unfold. I forced a smile and headed to the supply room to grab a few blankets, carrying them into the room. It had 2 beds, both of which were clean. So, when the time came, I could just switch the sheets instead of hauling a stretcher to rearrange the room. It was more practical since I was already quite tired. I switched off the light and settled onto the bed nearest the door. The room was shrouded in darkness and silence. Before long, sleep overtook me. I experienced a disturbing dream. I dreamt of someone standing by my bedside, watching me sleep. I was fully aware of where I was. I felt wide awake, yet I remained asleep. I attempted to lift my arm, but it refused to budge. A numbing paralysis gripped my entire body, and fear consumed me. I struggled to raise my head for a glance, but I was helpless. All I could make out was a vague silhouette. The entity was enormous and malevolent. I heard it speaking angrily. It yelled, but I couldn't comprehend its words, only grasping that it wanted me out. My heart raced. I tried to get up but found myself immobilized. Panic set in as I thrashed about on the bed. Eventually, I snapped awake. I realized I had been asleep all along. It had all been a dream, a result of my exhaustion and stress. But if that was the case, why did I still feel so uneasy and frightened? It was as though danger lurked around every corner. The room remained pitch black. After a while, I heard someone beside me clearing their throat in the darkness. A shiver ran down my spine, raising goosebumps all over me. During my slumber, the curtain beside me had been drawn, separating me from the adjacent bed. Initially, I assumed another nurse had entered and pulled the curtain, perhaps intending to sleep on the other bed. However, that wasn't the case. Something was off. I needed to investigate. I grabbed a flashlight, nervously scanning the area next to me. At first, I saw nothing. Then, I spotted it, a rough, blood-stained, green-black decaying hand. The hand had drawn back the curtain beside me. On the second bed lay a face fixated on me. It wasn't human, it was something malevolent, something that didn't belong there. It was terrifying, defying reason. I let out a scream, rousing all the patients on the entire floor. I fled that room, stumbling and injuring my buttocks. I escaped the hospital, never to return. I couldn't bear sharing a building with that entity. Now that I was aware of its presence, I couldn't continue at that hospital. I wouldn't seek medical care there either. Patients frequently complained about being unable to sleep in that room. In such instances, I would contact a doctor and request some well-known medication. But now, I understood the true reason why nobody could sleep in room 14.